Welcome to episode 198 of the No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
We're back. Happy New Year, everyone, all
Happy
of
New
our
Year.
listeners. Um, Playoff time, NFL.
Finally.
It's here. Finally here. Yeah. Um, we've been talking about the Ron Hamlin, uh, really, but would you want to cover that at all? You want to say anything about it?
I mean, it was just a horrible situation, honestly.
Yeah. Um, Scary, of course.
Yeah.
Uh, Glad he's okay. Back with the team. Obviously, he's not going to play right for the rest of the season, but he's back with the team. Um, Seems like um, a game changer, season changer. Obviously, change the whole uh, where they're going to play a game, of course. But really, really, really big deal. Glad he's okay. Just wanted to make sure you mentioned that because we are late on that, but glad he's okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to playoffs. Um, Tomorrow, we're recording this on a Friday. Saturday, uh, we have Seahawks 49ers, first game. Second game, we have Chargers and Jaguars. You want to do the picks or you want to break down the
I mean,
matchups?
we could pick them because the first game to me should be a wash.
Could be, yeah.
Uh, and it's almost like it feels like it won't be because it's so blatant. It's such a blatant mismatch.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the Seahawks played their worst football the second half of the season. 49ers haven't lost in like 2 months.
49ers will look great since they got McCaffrey.
49ers is a backup quarterback. Hasn't even played poorly at all.
It looks great. I mean, he's playing great. He's playing like just a decent starter.
And you know what really like proved how elite their roster is? I mean, the defense is top tier, obviously,
Hmm.
but Debo goes out and the backup quarterback is still feasting on screens.
Yeah, big
Like
time.
they still can't stop. So this to me is just such a bad matchup for the Seahawks.
The 49ers really haven't missed a step, really for basically all year. And Seahawks have been a team that really not even sure what the direction is at this point.
Everybody
A
thought they
lot of
were
their wins,
rebuilding.
yeah, a lot of their wins have been, more or less lucky,
Yeah.
or they've been the underdog in most of them. So, yeah, I think the 49ers is obviously the safe pick, but there'll be some magic with the Seahawks. Um,
You know what I
but
will
probably
say?
not.
I'm happy that the Seahawks are the ones that made the last spot
Hmm.
because they were the deserving NFC team
Yeah.
compared to the other team that fought on the final day.
Hmm.
So at least they have that kind of to again, they already had a successful season.
Yeah, they did.
So
They did. Okay. Second game, Chargers and Jags. Big game for both quarterbacks. I feel like this is a huge this is their first career moment. Like whoever wins this, I think gets their first career moment as a quarterback.
yeah,
Because this is a year where they're both kind of looking to see where they fit in into this quarterback run league right now. Chargers are a team that's kind of stacked, but not as good as you would think they should be. Um, and obviously they're good, but the record doesn't show as good as you think they should be. Only one game difference from the Seahawks.
yeah. You know what
And
frustrates me is I'm excited for the quarterbacks to your point.
yeah,
Um, but how the hell did Mike Williams get hurt? How does he have
I
a
know.
back fracture?
I know that's strange. Out of
Like I
nowhere.
was just checking ESPN before and he has a back fracture. Like you locked up the playoffs like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Are you telling me he was playing in the last week?
must have been.
Like why?
Yeah, it's a good question.
And I
Very
mean,
good
I'm
question.
not saying the Chargers are done because Herbert has shown the ability to go off regardless of who's out there.
Hmm.
But
But I mean, at the same time, he's shown the ability to struggle too in those
yeah,
moments.
yeah, I just think it's tough because the coach is already kind of being questioned, and you're going into the game missing a key piece of the roster.
Right.
I really don't
Yeah.
understand why he was playing in the final week.
I know. And it seems like it was, um, you know, they said they lost three starters in this in the Broncos game. So
I mean, I didn't
yeah,
check the standings deep enough to know if they were fighting for a spot, but I thought they were just locked because they couldn't win the division.
yeah. I'm not sure either. Uh, but yeah, I don't think. I mean, the Raiders weren't close, and the Broncos weren't close. Yeah, I can't. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe
Jaguars are
some of
the
the
closest
other
in there.
AFC teams. I know Miami was kind of battling with several teams,
Yeah.
but again, Miami's was the deserving team. I mean, Pittsburgh, like
Nope.
nobody wanted to see them. Patriots, the fact that the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots had a chance was gross.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Who you got in that one? If you had to pick.
I like Herbert a little bit more than Trevor Lawrence, to be honest.
I'm going with the Jags. I'm going with the Jags. So I think they're
Yeah,
peaking at the right time. I think they're hot. I think they're confident.
more complete too.
Yeah, the Chargers are really top heavy as far as talent goes. But yeah, something about the Jags is I don't know. I think their games when they win, it seems smoother than like Chargers are really streaky. Herbert is streaky. Like uh hot moments, cold moments, hot moments, cold moments. I think the Jags together more complete games to me,
Yeah.
which I think they'll have to in this game. And Chargers will have to be hot the whole time, which not sure. Not sure if they can do that in a
And
game
it
like
is
this.
like Herbert has to be flawless for them to really even have a chance.
But he shouldn't have to. The team is good, especially the offense.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think if the Chargers lose badly, their coach is gone.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Even
That's a
if they
fact.
lose, if they lose because of a decision he made, he's gone.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Okay. Um, Sunday, Dolphins and Bills. Probably the best game of this weekend, right?
I mean,
On
Tua's not
paper.
playing though.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah.
Teddy's not playing either.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Teddy's out.
Who's gonna
Teddy,
start
they
in this game for them?
Skylar Thompson, I believe.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He played a few games this year.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really do anything, but he was part of the win to get them in.
Yeah, I knew Tua wasn't gonna be there. I thought they would. I forgot about Teddy. Mm,
Yeah. I mean,
that's
I
bad.
with Teddy, I wouldn't give him much of a chance
I give him. I mean, a lot more of a chance than
than Skylar Thompson. Yeah, I'm with you.
yeah. Teddy is at least experienced, really experienced. Okay, yeah. So that might get ugly, but we'll see. Dolphins defense has had really good moments this season,
Yeah,
but the Bills have to put them away quick.
the
Have
Bills are
to.
just so dominant. I feel like if Allen comes out focused, I mean, he'll make like two of those jaw-dropping plays, and then Miami just won't be able to keep up.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if Miami throws any interceptions, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because
Yeah.
if the Bills get any type of good field position, they're gonna score most times, if
Yep.
not every time. Yeah, so that might be a blowout. Next game, Giants and Vikings. Very even matchup, I think.
Yeah.
Um, this one probably is the most even matchup of this round.
Who do these teams go to next if they win?
Let me see the tree. It looks like it's coming. Hmm. No, it
Are
doesn't
they playing
show.
San Francisco second round?
I think so.
So
I
we're
think
looking
so.
at, we're looking at one win max teams.
Mm-hmm.
So
Should
it,
be.
the game to me is kind of insignificant because the Giants are similar to the Seahawks. The season is already a success.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no expectation. I mean, I'm more curious what the offseason is going to look like with Daniel Jones.
You think he's gone?
I can't even really say at this point. Because if he plays well, he closed the year out strong to take you to the playoffs. If he
Mm-hmm.
performs well against, I mean, the Vikings defense is bad, but still, if he goes toe to toe in a playoff game, like there's some kind of building upside there.
Yeah.
And unless you're getting, one of the Lamar or maybe Rodgers or somebody crazy like that,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really reach in the draft.
Right. I agree.
So so to me, the Giants, their offseason is going to be a little more interesting than this game.
Yeah. I agree with that too. Yeah.
But the Vikings are just so fraudulent.
They are.
Like there's so many times, and we've criticized the Packers for this. Like I can't have faith in a team when I watch them get their ass whooped multiple times in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you look at Tampa Bay, they lost a lot, but they're not good.
Right.
Like the Vikings are a great roster and they got annihilated. And even when, even in their, I mean, you're down 30 to the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many moments you look at the Vikings. I mean, Jalen Hurt, what the Eagles did to them early in the season, the Packers and late in the year strapping Justin Jefferson.
Drafting.
I mean, I haven't trusted Kirk Cousins in a decade. Why would I start now?
When Kirk Cousins is bad, he's like shouldn't be in the
Horrible.
NFL bag. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. They do play 49ers, the winner of the 49ers Seahawks game.
Yeah,
This team does.
I think the Seahawks will give the 49ers more trouble than either of these teams.
Mm,
Seriously, because the Seahawks are
it's
much more
possible.
reliable running the ball. I know the
Yeah.
Giants have Saquon, but I still think the Seahawks are a little more dedicated to it.
Yeah, they are.
Pete Carroll's still probably the best coach of the three.
Mm-hmm.
And the Seahawks just have more like young, exciting players to me.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
and the Seahawks haven't gotten their ass kicked 5 times this year, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not as limited as I know the Giants are.
Right. And depending on how the seeding goes, if the Giants win, they will play the Eagles because they'd be the lowest seed if San Francisco wins.
Mm-hmm.
So they would play the Eagles. If Minnesota wins, um they would play San Francisco. So the
I,
Super Wild Card weekend
I mean, I
is
don't think the Giants have a chance against the Eagles either.
oh no, definitely. Oh, I don't know.
I
I don't
know,
know.
I know. Even if Hurts can't lift his shoulder all the way up, they'll be all right.
Yeah,
Against
that's
y'all, they'll be all right.
that's the only thing. I think the Giants give the Eagles a better game than Dallas or Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think I'm with that.
Yeah. So
The Giants have just proven to be able to keep games close.
they have, yeah.
And
Yep.
I think that's a really bad it's a bad sign for the Vikings.
Yeah, one thing about the Giants, if you they keep it close enough for if you make a mistake, they can win. And that's one thing that's tough about playing Jalen Hurts. He doesn't really make any mistakes, very,
Yeah.
very few. But Giants against Minnesota, where Cousins makes plenty of mistakes, should be fine.
But
You
to
know,
be
they got a
honest with
really good
you,
shot.
and this is what else is crazy about you guys having a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones wasn't turnover prone this year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not coming into this game like, oh man, like can the Giants survive that idiotic Daniel Jones play or like that one time he gets hit and the ball just comes out? He
No,
hasn't done that this year.
no, he hasn't. He's been a lot more, a lot safer with the ball
And that's
this year.
part of the reason they're keeping close and winning games. And I know that again,
Yeah.
they didn't play well the second half of the year,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't think they're as fraudulent as the Vikings are. Their identity is a lot more reliable.
So you're going Giants.
Yes, I am.
Okay, me too. Got it. So, um, next, Ravens and Bengals. No Lamar Jackson.
See ya.
Is there any question about this one?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if Lamar was playing, I'd pick Joe Burrow.
I I'd pick Burrow too, but I would think about it. I don't have to think about it now.
I just don't trust the Ravens at all.
They don't have enough. They just don't have enough for the
I,
Bengals.
like from what I've seen, and I haven't watched full games, but I've turned on games.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have stepped up. Their defense has been better. They run the ball a little more, kind of like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Like it's not explosive. I mean, versus the probably one of the hotter teams in the AFC.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
can make a case they're the best team in the AFC,
You can make it a case, yeah.
and it wouldn't be a bad one.
No,
Defending
no,
conference
they're,
champs,
they're top
they've
three.
beaten they've beaten the other team that has legit claim 3 times in a
Yeah,
row now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the Bengals are just too good to me.
yeah. That should be an easy dub. Moving on. Cowboys, Bucks. What do you
This
think?
game, I'm not excited for this game.
Sloppy? Think it's gonna be sloppy?
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't
And
want to
it's just
watch. I don't want to watch a 14-10 game, and I feel like that's what I'm going to be looking at.
the problem with the Cowboys is they've dug themselves in such a hole that this game you're more wondering how the Cowboys are gonna blow it than you are wondering how the Bucks are gonna win this game. And that's a really, really bad place to be as a franchise. Uh, you know, trust me, I know from the NBA, the Knicks are in a very uh similar place, but it's look, Cowboys on paper should beat the Bucks to me. To me, on paper it should be an easy game. Um, you know, pretty easy game for the Cowboys.
On paper, this is 35-7,
Yeah, but we
but
know how the Cowboys are. We know who Tom Brady is. It's gonna be more of like, all right, how are the Cowboys gonna? What mistakes are the Cowboys gonna make that Brady capitalizes on? Which could be plenty. Can be a lot. And like you said, I don't think the Bucks will have a lot of touchdowns. If they have, maybe one or two, it's not gonna be like a 6 touchdown game on each side,
yeah,
or
it's
4 or 5 touchdowns. It's
it's a
not like
little
that.
scary for Dallas because the Panthers game where
Yeah,
Tampa Bay clinched the playoffs.
yeah,
Uh, Mike Evans and Brady look good together,
they did. Yeah.
which is probably the first time this season.
But if they're the only people looking good, it's still gonna be a tough game for them against the
But we
Cowboys.
know how the Cowboys are. Like if Trayvon Diggs ends up on Mike Evans, I already see it. I can already see the double move. He's gone. He's too big for the safety touchdown.
Yeah.
Like I can visualize it, or
No, yeah, you're right.
pass interference.
Yeah, right.
So I don't trust the Cowboys at all, man, at all.
Yeah.
I
I'm with
mean,
you. I'm
Dak,
100% with you.
Washington. Every Washington game is on for me. And
Mm-hmm.
the Eagles, I didn't. I mean, the Giants kind of came back, but early on the Eagles were dominating, so I didn't really pay attention to that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you look that atrocious against a team that's not really even like they're playing plenty of backups?
Yeah.
You know, there's guys hurt, there's guys just sitting out. You know, the Washington's just like playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Lions where the Lion like they interview the coach and right before the second quarter and he's like, "Yo, we don't want them to go to the playoffs."
Right.
Like the whole division lead thing, it didn't really matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nobody really thought the Giants would beat the Eagles to close out the year.
Yeah.
But like Dak, you looked disgusting. Bro, Dak
It was
looked
really
almost
bad.
as bad as Tua in that Packers game.
Yeah.
Just for like, where am I even? I forgot where I was throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Like that's what Dak was doing.
Yeah. It was. It
And
was
and
bad.
and bro, and you move on from Dak. Like we've already established Dak is not that good.
Mm-hmm.
He went toe to toe with Garoppolo last year and came out the loser.
Mm-hmm.
You
Which is
look at the
funny because
defense. Go ahead.
a lot of people, a lot of people will say Garoppolo sucks, but think, they'll say that Dak is top five. Like, I don't know how you can say that they're even that far apart.
Bro, I've watched Dak for years go toe to toe with average quarterbacks. Like at a certain point, if you're
That's a
not
better team.
separating yourself from those guys, I mean, we saw it with Justin Herbert and Tua earlier this year. Like
Yeah.
it's not even close. I don't get that with Dak ever.
And Dak always, I mean, a lot of times has had the better team, which makes it even worse. It's not like he's out
Exactly.
there with no
Dallas
weapons.
always got Pro Bowlers
Yeah. Always have a good
who
squad.
always find a way to not show up. But bro, even in this Washington game, Washington like cares about the game so little. They're playing a guy I've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember his name.
Yeah. They've been doing that. I mean,
And he
they're
was
just out
and
there for the participation. Washington
bro,
was.
and he was carving them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like first down, correct read, like avoid the sack. Like again, if Dak is not perfect, which considering he's thrown a pick like 10 straight games, he probably won't be.
Right.
How can I picture him outplaying Tom Brady?
It's
I
nearly
can't see it.
impossible
I
to.
just can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to. It would be awesome if Dallas made a deep run or at least got to play Philly. I would love for that matchup to happen
That would be really fun.
with both quarterbacks actually playing.
Yep. Yep.
I just don't trust Dallas at all.
It was Sam Howell. This was the guy's name, by the
Thank
way.
you. Great game, Sam Howell. You
He
took
played great.
if Carson comes back on the roster, you took his backup job.
Hopefully Carson's not back.
He
Hopefully.
probably won't be. He
Um,
literally threw their playoff hopes away.
I know. Yeah. Yep. Uh, all right. You got anything else for football?
No.
Okay. So let's
Smart
get
move by the
into.
NFL, putting that Dallas game on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Um, let's get into the association then. NBA. The second returns for All-Star voting are in now. Um, does anything stand out to you? I'm not gonna name all of them. People could look it up. But does anything stand out to you?
No,
I'll
to be
name
honest.
who the five would be right now. It would be the West would have LeBron, Jokic, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Luca. No surprise there for me. The East would have Durant, Big Freak, Jason Tatum, Kyrie, and Donovan Mitchell.
The fact that Durant still gets more votes than Giannis and Tatum, I
Tatum is
understand.
close to not making it. He's only 40,000,
Yeah.
33,000 away from not making it. The starters.
Tatum hate is serious.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Nothing really surprised me.
I was a little bit surprised that Ja was so low in the count. Like I think the starters are correct. Like Steph and Luka should start. I mean, Steph is even though Steph's been hurt, it's fan voting, so I would think Steph would start. But I was surprised Ja is like a whole 2 million behind Luka
Well,
and
I
Steph.
think there's a lot. That doesn't surprise me because if I'm for a casual basketball fan, Memphis sucks. Like the way they play is boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's very kind of slow. It's very jock kind of dictates everything they do. You don't really know their role players if you're like a casual NBA fan.
Yeah,
Um, Meanwhile, Luca makes basketball look easy.
he does make it look easy. Yeah, he
Luca
does.
makes it just like Steph, who is
Yeah, he
top of the
does.
votes, who's the most popular guard ever, essentially.
Yeah,
So those two guys dominating the votes doesn't surprise me at all, man. They're like the face of the game
yeah, I got you.
all over the world, practically.
What about James Harden being the third most vote getter in the East? That surprised me a little bit. But for the most part, I mean, it's pretty clear that Donovan and Kyrie are enough ahead of everyone that they'll get it. And same with Luka and Steph. So the guards are pretty locked up. But as far as the forwards go, it's going to be down to the wire, really. And the thing is, Anthony Davis, I don't know if he's even going to be able to play or not. So probably will go to Zion, but then I don't know if Zion's going to be able to play. So,
Yeah, I imagine Zion won't.
so
So
it could be a situation we have like 30 All Stars because of injuries. So
yeah.
that would be
I mean, it's nice to
interesting.
see Markkinen getting a lot of votes.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, some of the names on here I like Shea. Um, Gilgeous
Yeah, Shea
Alexander is
being
pretty
a very
close.
I would say he's been the fourth best guard in the West so
Yeah,
far.
yeah, I agree. Yep. So that was a good spot. Um, mm, yeah, the East is a wrap for the top four. It'll just come down to Embiid and Tatum. So that'll be interesting. See how that
Yeah.
works out, how that shakes out.
You kind of saying it out loud that Harden is third, it irritates me about some of these East guards. Like Middleton, I thought would come into the season healthy, and he's played like 4 fucking games.
Yeah.
Uh Chicago's a disaster.
Yep.
Beal has played like 7 games.
Yeah.
Like
Trey has
those
been in and out a lot more than
Yeah,
ever
Atlanta's
before.
Atlanta's not looking hot either.
Yeah.
All these guys are to me just off of popularity, they wouldn't get more votes than Harden. But like if
Hmm.
DeRozan was playing like he played last year, he would have
Yeah.
been in the top 3, 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
it's like,
I know people don't get to watch the Pacers games, but there's no way anyone would think that who watches the Pacers games would think that Harden is playing better than Halliburton right now.
no.
But again, I get it with the fan voting because I've only seen like two Pacers games, but the two games I saw, Halliburton was the third best guard in the East.
I've seen a lot of Philly games and they don't look that good.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, okay. So let's talk about it. What have you noticed lately? What do you think about what's going on? I want to talk
Around
about.
which
Oh,
teams
go
do you
ahead.
want to get into?
Well, one thing we have to get into we haven't mentioned was Donovan's 71-point game.
Ah, mean, I told you this. It's just proof that he's the best shooting guard in the league.
He is. He absolutely is. I don't really get what else he has to do to prove
Bro,
that. Like,
it's because he's not 6'8".
yeah,
That's it. Like,
yeah,
there's no like if you really watch him from a like people who understand the game,
yeah,
like he's the most explosive scorer. He's the smartest distributor. He's
yeah,
the most consistently like effort defender.
yeah.
He makes winning plays all over the court.
I can't think of another shooting guard that does more on the court than Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he's one of the best leaders in the league.
Yep.
He's one of the most mature guys in the league. I mean, he's like a top 5, top 10 player.
And people forget that this team didn't even make the playoffs last year.
I know.
They were in the playing game. They were, I think, they might have been the low seed, maybe.
Yeah, they
They
got
were,
spanked by KD and Kyrie, I believe.
yeah, they were in the play-in, and I think they had to play both games. So I
Yeah.
think they had to have been. No, I mean, yeah, whatever. They were in the play-in, and now this team is one of the most dangerous teams in the East. Yeah, but
And meanwhile, the other duo member of the Jazz
mm,
is what's he doing?
doing terrible. Their
Came in
team's
there. At least the
about to be out of
defense
the
should be
playoffs.
solid. Defense is trash. He's had
Defense is
no impact
trash.
on anything.
Field goal percentage is trash. Yeah,
So
fast breaks
for
trash.
those people who even had like the any sort of doubt that Utah wasn't like a first option and then everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
like people discussed Utah like they had a duo in the past.
Right. And,
Meanwhile,
and
we watched how many playoff years? This is our what, third, fourth year? How many
mm-hmm.
times have we come on here after a playoff, 2, 3 games and complained about damn Donovan's alone out there?
Basically every playoffs, every
Every
single playoff, it felt like
playoffs.
he was out there by
He's
himself,
limping. He's limping out of the playoffs, dropping 50-point games.
averaging like 40 in a series, and like no one cares, even
Yeah,
though
and he
he's
he
not good
couldn't
enough.
stop Brunson for a couple plays. Again, we've deep dived that enough. And
Yeah,
now he got exposed.
and again, it's a thing where it's like, oh, they couldn't stop Brunson. Brunson just had like 45 against someone else last week. Like they had like Brunson got $100 million in the offseason. They
And
act
he's
like
lived
Brunson's
up
like
to it
a
already.
Yeah, they act like Brunson's like a $20 million player that shouldn't even be out there. That had a good series. Like he's a starting point guard. So I mean, you know, the hate that's been on Donovan Mitchell because he was on Utah, the all-star tomfoolery that LeBron and was it Durant that year?
Yeah. Yeah.
That LeBron and Durant did was just I would say it was. Um, and then, like you said, overhyping Gobert like he was the second guy that he contributed to their winnings was just it was disgusting. It really
Just
was.
disrespectful.
The whole team disbanded and they're no worse than they were
I
when
mean, just
they had
think
that
of the
team.
guys. Think of the guys that people like definitively think is better than Donovan. Devin Booker,
Yeah.
dude. Phoenix has collapsed.
Yeah, Phoenix looks really bad.
Phoenix,
Especially
forget the
when he's
fact that
there.
everyone is hurt. They collapsed
Mhm.
when everyone was healthy.
They did. They started the year out collapsed.
Right.
Yeah.
And that guy,
Internally.
I mean, he had his best game of probably his career. What did he put up? 57?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever that.
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did they do? Lose.
Yep. He lost a 70-point game.
He lost. Exactly. He had a 70-point game once upon a time, and he lost that.
Donovan
Donovan
went to
willed
double
his
overtime
team back.
against a good team. Yeah, against the Bulls, who now if there's one thing you can say about the Bulls is that they are a clutch team. If there's anything, if
Yeah.
it's down to the wire, they have DeRozan, they have Levine, they have
Yeah.
guys with big shots. But I mean, he willed his team to that win, like you said.
I mean, he had like 20 at half. He literally
Yeah,
went on a Kobe pace from that point forward
he did. Yeah, yeah.
because they
He was
needed
having
it.
just an okay game in first half. Yeah, yep.
Again, I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, like people really like these guys, Beal, Middleton, Devin Booker, like these guys, people really consider them better. And let's be honest, it's only because those guys are 6'6" or above.
Yeah, and they have a lot of off the court stuff that people like Booker has a bunch of off the court drama that people know
Man,
him more.
right. Man, he can have all that.
Also, Garland wasn't even he didn't even play in that game that Mitchell had 71 in.
Yeah.
So he was missing the second best player on the team. Still did that against a good team. But man, I'm sick of people using this as why the league isn't good. Why, they don't play any defense anymore. Oh, everyone's scoring a bunch of points. Yeah, they were doing that before Donovan had 71 and no one had 71. Like, it doesn't, you know what
Nah.
I mean? Like, yeah, they're
Nah.
doing
You know
that.
why I have no problem with I guess I understand the averages are up, but there's a
Yeah,
lot there's this narrative that a lot of guys are getting 50 plus.
yeah.
But there was that one year when it was bums doing that, when it was like Terrence Ross, Corey Brewer.
Williams,
Yeah.
Joe
These like
Miles having a huge
randoms.
game. Yeah,
Look at it's only like the best 20 players getting these crazy games.
exactly.
We're not looking at role players going off for 40 plus. It's the
No.
best players in the league eating.
Yeah, and I would say Brunson is like the worst player that had that big of a game this season.
Yeah, he had 45 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think 44, 45, something like that.
Mhm.
Simons had a good game, but it was because he hit like 9 threes. Like it's not like it's people are going on these one man killing
Yeah,
sprees like that. A bunch of guys who aren't that good, but guys have good shooting nights. That's always happened. Daniel Marshall hit 10 threes in a game
right.
or 9 threes, whatever it was. He's terrible. So I
But
mean,
the spacing is so good in the league now that
it is.
like best players get so many island opportunities
Yeah.
and
Also
how
because switching is so
exactly that's exactly
common.
what I was getting to. Like there's so much switching going on that you're getting good matchups.
Yeah,
Luca gets 35 and doesn't like really sweat all the time.
yeah,
Jokic is doing that for Jokic is just now starting to like really hustle up and down the court.
yeah. He is.
So again, I'm more impressed with the star players than I'm disappointed by the defense.
I agree.
I've been hating on the defense for two. This is my second year now being disgusted by the regular season defense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. The regular season defense does suck, but like you said, there's no defense that could be bad enough for someone to get 70, like because of the defense. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You still got to go get it. Like that's a
Yeah,
lot of buckets to go get.
it is exactly. But yeah, we can stand blindfolded and stop someone from getting 70. Like it
Right.
still doesn't make it easy. But yeah, the defense is a little bit lower, but also the fouls are different. Like I forgot who I was watching, but someone the other night had like 17 free throws, 20 free throws. I'm like, all right,
Jimmy Butler.
like, oh yeah, I think it was Jimmy. So yeah, if you're gonna hit 20 free throws, you're capable of getting 50 in that game like automatically.
And you get 12. Besides your 20 something free throws, you got 12.
Right, yeah, that's who he is. Yeah. Uh,
I'm not talking about Miami today, by the way. I don't want to.
but yeah, so I think it's corny to use his game is that and just celebrate the game, man. He had a
I
great
know.
game. He's
I know.
having a great year. He's leading this team better than I've seen a team get led in someone's first year.
They're a contender. They're a legitimate contender.
Legit. Yep. And Rubio came back and looked good last night. Did you see?
Yeah.
hit 9 like out the gate. Like
Yeah,
that's great. I
he's
mean, so they're gonna
aggressive
get
too. I
better.
like it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna get healthier. They're gonna get better. Dean Wade is still hurt. He was great for them at the beginning of the season. Not that he makes a huge difference, but depth always makes a difference.
And they've had
Um,
so many guys in and out of the lineup that they'll be one of the deeper teams going into the playoffs either way.
they will. Yeah, and I definitely think they will still make a move because you look at the guys on their roster. I mean, you got guys who probably don't make that much money that get a lot of minutes. Like Okoro is still on his rookie deal. I'm not sure if Stevens is on his rookie deal, but I'm sure he's on a really small deal. These guys play almost 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Osman's on a low deal. Wade's on a low deal. Like everyone who plays small forward for them is in a super low contract. So they probably have room to make a move. So if they wanted to, which I'm not sure if they really have to, but it's up to them really just for security.
I still don't really trust Levert being like the key forward or the key
Yeah,
small forward or wing, I guess.
or just the key off the bench, like the only key off the
Yeah.
bench. Yeah,
He takes so many like just like bad takeover shots,
yeah.
you know.
He
So
thinks he's on fire. A lot of times he's not on
yeah,
fire.
I don't know, man. I don't want to watch them take the ball out of like Donovan and Garland's hands for that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, moving on. Um, I don't really have any specific teams in mind that I have seen lately be that different. I just really like how the standings are shaking out right now. Obviously, still 30 games before the season's over, but um, I think it's interesting seeing the Knicks at the sixth spot. You got Indiana and Miami on the top side of the play-in right now, with Atlanta and Chicago on the bottom side. Which, if it stayed like that, that would be a really exciting play-in tournament. A lot more exciting
Yeah.
than the one last year and the um yeah, there was one the year before and the year before. So I think that would be really, really interesting if it stays like
Hey,
that, which it might not.
Charlotte's not gonna be in the plan. I'll take it.
Yeah,
Charlotte's not gonna waste our time getting blown the fuck out in the play. I'll take it.
Charlotte is shot. Worst
They're
team in the league right
horrible.
now.
Shout out to Kelly Oubre because he's whooping out there. Uh,
Finally.
but they're horrible.
Yeah. When you look on the other side and you have Phoenix, you have Golden State, you have Utah, you have Minnesota. Minnesota's not going to stay there, I don't think. I think Portland gets there. Maybe OKC gets there. Maybe LA gets there. They're all within one game of that spot right now. But Phoenix and Golden State and Utah might not make it, but scrappy teams there. It's going to be a scrappy playing on that side as well. Because the teams that obviously won't fall, Denver won't fall, New Orleans, Memphis won't fall. Those three, I think, are locks for the top three over there. At least top locks to be in the top four. But after that, it's I think it's going to be a really nice race to see who gets that last spot in the after the play-in. So they're
Uh,
ranting and raving about even initiating the play-in. I think this is kind of what they were hoping would happen, where these good teams just maybe go through rough patches and fall into that spot and have to battle for it. So
I think I'm gonna be honest. I'm concerned about the Warriors.
let's talk about it. Steph, first game back, Wiggins second game back, Iguodala second game back. They're all back finally. I think. I'm not sure if Wiseman is healthy. Is he? Do you know?
And they got cooked. I mean, they don't. Their def. I keep thinking their defense is gonna get better.
Hmm.
Like I thought getting the guys, getting Wiggins, Iguodala, Draymond's plan.
Yeah.
Like it's still a struggle to get stops. And it's not Luka putting up 40. You're going against Detroit and struggling and losing. You're
Mm-hmm.
going against Houston, and it takes, late into the fourth quarter to pull away. I mean,
Orlando, you're losing.
right. Clay had to go from playing god awful to being scorching hot for you to go toe to toe with the lottery teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen anything consistent that I'm like, okay, the ball movement's back. It's really not.
Right.
It's really not. The quality of shots is not as good as it used to be. There's more dribbling by guys who never really were dribbling too much before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year, Poole looked like he had a top 5 bag.
Yeah.
This year, I'm like, damn, like, can we swing it? I know, I mean, it's going to come back most of the time.
Yeah.
But again, all the things that they used to dominate easily look
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. I agree. What do you think it is, though?
They're getting less layups,
Mm-hmm.
more jumpers. So it's the Chicago factor of, you live and die by it.
Yeah.
Before, a lot of the time, it would be like a mirage that they're only taking jumpers because it'd be a
Mm-hmm.
couple Clay cuts or somebody cutting, and then the jumpers open up. But
Mm-hmm.
like Wiggins takes like 6 threes a night.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
not
don't
good.
care that he had a
Not his
good
game.
playoff run. That's not how I want to use him.
Last year, like the whole year last year, he shot really, really well from the three. And this year, he's not shot well. I mean, since the start of the season at all, really.
But that doesn't
That
surprise
was
me.
concerning. It didn't surprise me, but it was concerning because him shooting well was such a big part of them being dangerous last season. And him not shooting well just makes it like, all right, we're just not even going to run out there. That messes up the cutting, messes up the driving for other players. So it was concerning, but yeah, it wasn't overly surprising. I think it was more surprising that he was shooting well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I thought they would be able to get stops against some of the lesser teams.
Yeah,
I can't explain the inability to win on the road.
that's
I
been
mean, who has
insane.
more championship pedigree than this roster?
Nobody.
Not a fucking soul in the NBA besides like Pop.
Right.
And they're like, they can't win on the road, no matter who it is.
Yep.
So
And
I keep waiting for them to click, and we're halfway through the season. Steph is back. The roster's getting back, and I don't see it.
right now they're 30th in turnovers, dead last, 16 turnovers a game. But they are first in assists. So assist to turnover ratio maybe isn't that bad for the
That
team, but
proves my point. The ball movement is still there, but it's sloppier than it used to be.
right. Obviously they're first in field goal, 3-point field goals. They're second in pace, which is interesting. Um, so they're still pushing the ball, they're still getting up threes, they're still moving the ball, but to your point, the stops are not there. They aren't getting as many fast breaks as they used to. When they play their best, they get a lot of fast breaks. They're not getting those.
They don't
They don't
rebound as
have the
well
same.
either.
Yeah, exactly. They don't rebound as well at all. And the problem is some of the guys they picked up or chose to um, step forward, like Kaminga. They picked up Jermichael Green. Jermichael Green is not a rebounder, by any means. Not an elite rebounder. He's
No.
a big guy out there. Kaminga, he stepped up, but you have him as this versatile defender, this versatile inside outside threat, where he's not in a position to get rebounds as much as you probably need him to be. So last year they had a lot of guys who were really motivated to get rebounds from every position, and now I'm seeing a lot of guys who aren't necessarily motivated in that same way, or at least haven't ever been used to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Ty Jerome, no one's ever told Ty Jerome, yo, I need 4 rebounds a game. Never. Even Chenzo, no one's ever told him, I need you to get
No.
in there and be an elite rebounder.
And DiVincenzo, to his credit, some of the Milwaukee DNA rubbed off on him because he does kind of get in there from time to time.
He's scrappy. Yeah, he gets in there. Yeah,
But to your point, it's just like I can't expect that.
right. You can't expect I have to look up his name, Anthony Lamb, to be a tough rebounder. And he does get in there and get some tough rebounds, but you can't expect it every night, especially when his minutes aren't even consistent every night. He went from 33 minutes against Orlando to only 16 against Phoenix. I mean, it's just so if you don't have consistent playing time or consistent roles for these guys, you can't expect consistent production, which obviously that goes back to the depth that we've been talking about all year, but it's not even about the depth right now. It's the I don't know why they don't get stops like they used to, man. I really don't. I know Poole is a defensive liability, but not enough to be losing every road game you ever
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
I will say, like, Poole really hasn't gotten better in the offseason
Mm-hmm.
like I thought he could.
Yeah.
Um, Draymond's kind of a little bit worse. And he's like so
He's been hitting
blatantly
jumpers.
not an offensive threat.
He's been hitting some jumpers. Some of them.
That's good, but not enough to like make people play defense,
I
which
will say about go ahead.
just another reason why they can't get layups.
I will say about Poole, they didn't get better in how they're using him. I wonder if coming into this season was he preparing to have to play as much like actual point guard as he's had to play. You know,
Yeah, and I
because he's been
understand why Kerr plays him at the one or like uses him at the one,
yeah
but I don't like it.
he's been he's been on the ball more this season. You know, a third into the season than he was all last season.
Yeah. And he still has moments where like he'll get going and then it's a quick 30.
Yeah,
But because he has the ball more, he's not getting going as much because it's not
not
as
getting going
easy.
as much. He's easier to check because he has his ball so long. Because
Yeah.
you know you used to not have to play him full court because he really just got the ball in the half court offense. Now, he's coming up full court. He's having to make more passes. So he's having to be, try to make other plays. So he's not really being as aggressive as the scorer as he used to be. So that's a little bit different too.
He also, I imagine, wasn't ready to come into the season and get his jaw rocked.
That too. Yeah.
And the more, again, like their chemistry is not quite the same. And it's like, it's a small, like the energy is just not quite there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're
I
definitely
think
not as
the road
cocky as they
record
used to be.
shows that.
Yeah, it does.
Because you could
It
still,
does.
with Oracle getting crazy, with Steph hitting shots, like you could still bring that energy. But in the
Mm-hmm.
past, you could take it with you.
Yeah.
And now as soon as you leave Oracle Arena, there's no energy.
Right. Right. Yeah. That is something we gotta definitely watch out for, especially as Steph comes back more and he starts feeling better, gets more into it. They got Iguodala back. Let's see what Iguodala does for them defensively because he's been their most versatile defender like forever. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm
I
with
mean,
you,
I'm
man.
a
It is really
glass,
concerning.
yeah, but I'm a glass half full guy because obviously I'm okay with another team being better than the Warriors.
Yeah,
Uh, if at worst case, I think the Warriors will be a really tough first round challenge for, the teams that are higher in the standings that are looking to be contenders.
I agree. I agree.
Like I think any team that shows in the first round that they can handle the Warriors, even with their problems,
Yeah,
to me, like kind of moves in as the favorite from that point on.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, because the Warriors are definitely the most volatile team that they can beat anybody, and if they
I'm
get
I'm
through
ducking them.
one of
I'll
those,
I'll give you it straight up. If I'm Mike Malone and we got 2 games and we need to lose to not play them,
Yeah.
Jokic, take a seat. Bones, you're not playing. Bones, none of the takeover guys. Aaron Gordon, sit down. Jamal Murray, sit down. Porter Jr., sit down. Like, none of those guys.
And none of the guys that can get hurt either.
Right.
They'd have to sit out. I mean, because Porter Jr. go out there and he can get hurt every night he plays, it seems like.
Maybe Memphis is looking for the challenge, but if I'm Denver, if I'm, who else? New Orleans, with their health issues, I don't want that smoke right now.
And that's the one thing that may be saving grace for the Warriors, right? I look at the rest of the West, right? I'm looking at Memphis. I'm looking at Denver, New Orleans, Dallas, Sacramento, LA Clippers, Phoenix Suns. At all of those teams, the only team that is normally healthy is Dallas. The only one. Phoenix is normally hurt. Clippers are always hurt. Sacramento, they in and out. Sometimes somebody gets hurt, but they're always missing somebody. Like you look, and it may not be anyone impactful. It's like, oh, Harrison Barnes is out 25 games. So we never know because they don't play on TV that much. Oh, like I didn't even know Keegan Murray missed a bunch of games. I didn't even know.
Yeah. I saw the injury report. Like, oh, I didn't even know he was out.
Exactly. Pelicans, we already know. Zion, he'll miss a game whenever.
I thought Ingram would have been back.
I haven't seen Zion and Ingram play together yet. All the TV games, one of them is out. And then they have other guys, smaller guys, lesser guys that miss games. Murphy misses games here and there. Jones misses games here and there. Memphis, they're always missing a starter, it feels like, too.
And Memphis is the only team that, like, it doesn't matter. Even with Ja, honestly, it doesn't matter most of the time.
It doesn't matter unless they're missing, like, 2, which they could. But if they're only missing any one of their guys, it doesn't matter. You're right. But then you have Nuggets who, they can be missing 4 out of their 7-5. They can still be good. They're not going to beat the Warriors. They already showed that last season. So that's one thing that the Warriors could get away with because they're getting healthy at the right time.
The West is very volatile right now.
It is. And they're getting back at the perfect time because this is usually All-Star break is usually when guys do start getting hurt too. I know a lot of guys got hurt early this season, but this is when guys start saying, all right, we're in a good spot. I'm about to miss 15 games.
Yeah.
And,
But again, like the Warriors, to look at it from a glass half full kind of perspective, like Clay is kind of back now, at least offensively.
Yes.
So if you avoid the play-in and you do get 5th, 6th seed, you're as dangerous as anybody.
Absolutely.
The way your backcourt is shooting the ball.
They're still a number 1 seed to me at that point.
Man, that's still 3 games in Oracle. 3 games in Oracle that I can't really see anybody winning.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Chase Center now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, you're right. It's going in there. It's tough, no matter what.
Again, their record proves it. They're going to be going 7 just off their record with everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. Okay. Speaking of Denver, how do you feel about them getting pretty much full strength? What do you think? How do you think they look so far?
They live up to the hype, the full strength hype that the Clippers don't.
Yeah.
They look entirely complete.
They do.
And their rotation is really like only 8, 9 deep max.
Yeah, 9 max.
Like Malone will sometimes throw out somebody random, but it's very rare, and it's for like a few minutes here and there.
Yeah, or foul trouble, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and even those guys,
their starting lineup looks impeccable.
Starting lineup is fantastic. Even the guys he does throw out there are experienced guys. Like you throw Jeff Green out there, and you don't move much. He knows what he's doing. He plays really hard defense. He goes to the basket aggressive. Like, you don't move that much when you throw out someone
I mean,
like
I
him.
get Bones, Bruce, and Jeff. I'd put them up against any three bench guys in the league
Yeah, I
and be
agree.
confident in my chances.
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
Beyond that, and then beyond that, like they're kind of like brawn here and there.
Hmm.
They'll throw in like a big here and there. That's not good.
Yeah,
Um,
Kanchar slips in there sometimes.
yeah,
Najee had a really good game last like this week. So
but
yeah,
there
we'll
again,
throw some of
like
those guys out there for experience.
Murray's becoming the number one option a little bit more, and it looks
Yeah,
great.
I,
KCP's obviously getting great shots. I mean, that's a given.
yeah, he
Jokic
is.
is kind of just balancing everything out great. He's not doing too much of anything.
Yep,
I mean, Gordon has been fantastic.
Gordon looks great. Looks absolutely great.
So Porter Jr. has been good too. Again, his chemistry is developing more and more with Jokic, with Murray. He's getting shots. Like role players are creating shots for him.
Yeah, and they're using him how we've mentioned with Kawhi, we've mentioned with some of the really good scorers. It looks like Malone tells him, look, 3 dribbles. If you don't have a shot, give it up. Just 3 dribbles, no more. I watched Denver play last week. How many Porter Jr. took more than 3 dribbles the whole game at any time? He got a rebound, took 3 dribbles to half court, gave it up, went and got open. He came off a pin down, didn't really have it, took a little inside out, took a dribble, got a shot off. Like they
Yeah,
tell him, look, we don't want these long possessions with you in the ball and us just standing and watching. I never see anyone standing and watching on the team as much as they used to. Like with the 2-man game, guys used to just watch. Virginia used to just watch. Murray used to just go one on one. Everyone would just watch. They don't do that nearly as much as they used to. It
I
looks
know.
really, really, really good. Murray being their go-to guy to me, and we've said this in the past, but that's their peak. I mean, that's when they can be their best. I believe. I think he, I think when you get into Jokic, taking 25 shots, you get some of these other like scorers so far out of rhythm. Well, Jokic can go score whenever he wants. Like he can get layups, he can get rebounds, he can get putbacks, he can get those free throw line jumpers at any time in the game. But when you get Murray going and get Murray high and get him in rhythm early, it's a river that never stops flowing.
I know.
And they
And
get
then
really, really tough. He's one of the most harder he's one of the hardest guards to check in the league.
yeah, I mean, we're looking at now Malone, Murray, Jokic, and Porter Jr. have been together now, what, 4 or 5 years?
This Porter Jr. came in the league.
Which was like about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I
I think
mean,
this is his
it
fifth year.
shows. It shows how quickly, even before Murray was 100%, you
Yeah.
could kind of see even the new role players that hadn't really played with him. They clicked with
Hmm.
him right away.
They did. Yep, you're right.
So Malone has kind of his teams figured out, and I if they're healthy, there's really it's hard to pick against them in the West right now.
It is really hard, yeah. West it's weird because the West is funny because yeah, the regular season, a lot of the teams look really good, but we know when it comes playoff time, there's really only like 3 teams that can.
Yeah, but Denver's one of the teams I think will translate,
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
and we've seen it.
for sure. Yeah, yep. All right. What else you got? You got anything else?
I mean,
We'll have
you
a lot to
mentioned
talk about next
Atlanta.
week with the football.
I don't want to be overly negative, but Atlanta has really let me down. You mentioned Trey being out, but he hasn't been out that much.
Yeah, and it started the year out so nicely, and making so many good plays, and then it just went downhill like really fast.
I just I don't understand why it's still Trey out there alone. a lot.
Yeah.
Like they'll go, I watch them sometimes, and they'll go like 6 possessions where Trae Young will either take a floater or get fouled. And like
Yep.
the big will just set screens and roll, and that's it. No, he won't touch it. Nobody else really touches it. Maybe they'll try some like pin down for one of their shooters who's not good at that.
Yeah.
It's just their offense is so stiff.
I will say their offseason moves weren't great, obviously, right? They weren't bad enough to be how they're playing, but I think it's a really fatal misstep on Nate McMillan's part to bring DeJounte Murray into this team and make it a lot more complex than it was, but then like simplify the offense. Like the offense, like you said, is really just screen and rolls, just pick and rolls, pick and roll. The movement is very limited. It's a lot of horns at the top of the key. You know, for people who don't know horns, it's two big men coming up to set screen on either side and the guard choosing whose
But their
side it
horn, I
goes.
don't even like their horns. I normally like horns. I think horns is a good offense for most NBA teams.
It is, and you're right. Their horns isn't good, but they have a team that is more complex than horns. They using like a very simple offense that, even though it was effective, it's not. This isn't the right team to be using it, especially when you don't have anyone, a single other consistent scorer on the team other than Trey. I mean, none of them. And I thought at this point, John Collins would find something, some sort of consistency in how he scores. Donovan still will miss like wide open shots. Um, Hunter is still, some games he plays good, some games he's
He's
invisible
liable.
out there.
Hunter's liable to go 1 for 10 and all 10 of them be good shots.
Yeah, easy ones.
Yeah, like like free throw middies, no contest, corner threes, no closeout, and he fucking bricks them.
What's funny is he'll separate them, like they'll be so along the course of the game you don't notice he's shooting like garbage until you look at the stats. Like you watch the whole game, like, oh, Hunter missed that one, okay. And then you look at the box score, and like you said, he went 1 for 10, 1 for 12. You're like, I didn't even notice him missing all those shots. But he plays so long, and it's like he's out there
Yes, he is out there a
invisible
lot.
until it's time for him to take a shot.
You know what, man? Honestly, I think if they miss the playoffs, Nate is gone.
I agree.
But to me, man, this is more of a leadership problem
It
because
absolutely is. Yeah.
because Trey and DeJounte, I mean, DeJounte has like translated most of his production that he was putting up in San Antonio, and he was their essentially only option.
Yep.
So he came to this team that was essentially what they are now, kind of a border playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Like good highs, horrible lows, which is what they are still.
Yep.
Even though DeJounte's still a good individual defender, their defense is still bottom tier.
Mm-hmm.
DeJounte has come in, he's been a good scorer, your offense is not better. He's been a good distributor, your offense is not better. He's been a good
Yep.
rebounder. You don't rebound better as a team.
And Trey is still averaging 28 and 10 that he's averaged for the last 4 years.
And their
That
offense
same
looks much
numbers.
worse.
Yeah.
And
And that's the
honestly, man, a
problem.
lot of the time it looks like it's, we missed some good shots. Trey's like, all right, like enough. Like you have to build trust. I
Yeah.
understand like a guy's off, but
Yeah.
did you not forget what happened with Miami? How they just like completely eliminated you from the series?
Yeah.
Like they're prone to have that happen again with another
Yeah.
guy to do that.
Yeah. They are.
I make a
They are.
comparison for them. Sometimes you watch them and they look like LeBron and D Wade in their first year.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I'm not feeding guys, like I'll just take over. That's what they
Yeah.
try to do all the time.
Yep.
And obviously, I mean, they're not as explosive as LeBron and D Wade are.
Hmm.
And it shows in their inability to get stops, inability to be clutch. They've blown a lot of leads. I mean, guys, they're missing Capella, and it looks like they have no rotation all of a sudden.
I'll give you a better example. They're like when Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis played together. When they had Bogut, remember that for Milwaukee?
Yeah.
And obviously, neither of the like this is the other end of the spectrum. Like LeBron and Wade are the high end, Trey and DeJounte are in the middle, but this is the lower end of it. But it's like, yeah, we have two good guards that can both eat, and one of them's numbers are fantastic. One of them is capable of leading the league in scoring, probably. But it's like, can you name another player that played with them?
Nope.
10 years from now, I won't be able to name any of these Atlanta guys. None of them.
No, I can't
And it's
either.
and it's because they don't get involved, and it goes back to leadership too, where it's like I don't know what their roles are other than just jack as soon as they get the ball, but
Yes,
they
and
haven't.
I've spent the last year and a half, like to your point, maybe Hunter does suck. Bogdanovich
Mhm.
is definitely like a horrible shot taker.
Yeah,
AJ Griffin he's decent sometimes, he's non-existent other times.
yeah, he's immature. Yeah, he's
Right.
young.
And
Yeah,
for like a year and a half, I'm looking like, man, these guys aren't good enough. Like, you got to go in the fucking offseason and upgrade. You got to go in the trade deadline and upgrade.
yeah,
But at some point, Trey, we got to move the ball.
yeah.
DeJounte, like, you're not Trey. Let's move the ball.
Right.
And on top of that, it's never the two of them playing together.
No, it's not.
Same
No,
problem I have with the Knicks. Like, Brunson and Randall never help each other eat.
they don't.
Sometimes they'll both get 30, just like Atlanta.
It's just two guys that get
Just
30. It's
getting
not.
it. Like, you're not
Yeah,
playing good basketball. You're just really good.
yeah, yeah.
And that leads to a 19 and what, 22, 23, whatever they are. Bottom
22.
side of
Yeah.
the fucking play-in.
Yep.
I'm
Real quick,
disappointed, man. I thought the DeJounte edition would be top tier, and it's been. I thought it could catapult them like Cleveland with
yeah,
Donovan,
yeah.
just because of the fit. And I look bad right now because they haven't shown that.
Oh, the worst part is that they did show it to start the year. Those
Small
first six
sample
games,
size.
yeah, the first 6 games, it looked great. And I just ever since then, whether it's what Trey and New McMillan have going on, that it still has been confusing ever since that situation.
He's been in and out
Um,
ever since.
he's been in and out. He just skipped a game allegedly. Uh, you know, the guys that they do have that they try to move it to, I don't know like when they work on their game because I see nothing. John Collins looks no different than he did when people thought he was good 3 years ago. I haven't seen anyone else on the team actually get better. I'm not blaming the team, but even Trey hasn't gotten better because he needs someone else to get better. Um, and it goes back to leadership because I don't know if anyone on the team actually wants to get better.
Dude, I turned on. Remember, I texted you how they were getting their ass whooped by Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched 8 minutes. Guess how
Mm-hmm.
many layups John Collins took?
How many?
Zero. And he wasn't in
Yeah,
foul trouble. What the fuck? Like, I'm watching it. I'm like, yo, like all these role guys are throwing up shit. And Collins is like part of that.
how many dunks has Collins got this year?
Not enough.
Exactly. I mean,
Like he's
2 years
barely a
ago,
lob threat.
2 years ago, Collins was on Sports Center every day for something,
Oh, he was
or a
dunking on
dunk,
people
a
so
block.
hard that he was making shirts off of it, and they were cool.
Yeah, he was getting posters every night, and now it's like I'm not even worried about him coming to the paint right now.
Nah.
So it is bad, and the thing is, what I'm saying about the rest of the team, all could happen because of Trey's lack of leadership. You know, it could take everyone out the game. That's what happens when you have someone that dominant with the ball. He's the main distributor. Um, it can take everyone out of the game, but they got to figure that
I
out,
would like
man. I
to
mean,
see a
they
game where Trey takes 90% good shots.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've ever seen that in Atlanta.
It's not gonna happen.
And some
Uh,
of that is on him. Maybe we don't go straight to 90% good shots, but
yeah.
right now it's really like 30 good, 70 bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it could easily become 50-50 or 60-40. Like at least we got to make some effort to balance it out.
Yeah, it's only like 3 shots difference to get to
Right.
60-40. Yeah.
But just the watching him take floaters while guys stand around, like I love Trey. He's got the best floater in the league
Mm-hmm.
or top 5.
Yeah.
I don't want to see only that.
Let me tell you some stats that from Atlanta. First of all, they are 30th in 3-point percentage. I mean, 3-point field goals per game. 30th. They are 20th in assists, 23rd in true fielding percentage, 24th in effective field goal percentage, 21st in offensive rating, 19th in field goal percentage.
And that's that to me. I know Nate hasn't been the best coach, but that's an indictment on the 2 top tier guards.
It is, especially when both of those guys are 10 assists a game guys. Is
Like
why are we taking so many shots that we're not making? Why can't we get good shots? Field goal percentage. That
yes,
should be great when you have guys that are that good of ball distributors.
and you put your role players in better positions. Like
Yeah,
Hunter cleaning up good shots that aren't going in is a great way to get him involved.
it is.
Rather than ISOs where he's stuck in the fucking corner where you could box him out 5 seconds before the shot goes up.
Yeah,
It's so stagnant.
it is. Yeah. Hunter should be taking free throw, mid range jumpers and layups. And he's
Layups. He
taking
should
these,
be cutting. He should be cleaning up rebounds. Like
yeah,
I barely see him on the glass.
no, very rarely. Someone has
Atlanta's
to
just
hold him
all
accountable
around
to that.
soft.
Someone has to hold him accountable to that. And again, that goes to the coaching and the leadership of Trey. That has to coexist. The coach and the leader have to coexist enough to distribute that kind of message to guys like Hunter.
I
Have to.
honestly, man, the more I kind of visualize what I've seen from them, man, if they're not
Yeah.
competitive, let's say they do get in the playoffs and either through the play-in or maybe they sneak into the top 6. If they get spanked in the first round by somebody,
Yeah.
Nate McMillan's done.
Oh yeah.
Like they
They
have
may
to
be
be,
done
they
it
have to
either
show
way.
some sign of progress.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
And they should be like, they're another team. They're not Golden State, but they've had playoff experience to where if they're a 6 seed, if they click late in the year, they should be able to compete with pretty much any of the other Eastern teams.
I agree.
And
I
the way I
agree.
see them now, I doubt they will.
Yeah. Yep. Real quick to the Knicks. You made a really good point about Brunson and Randall. Randall was playing fantastic this year, by the way. I wish he didn't
Shooting
have to.
lights out.
I wish he didn't have to handle the ball as much as he does, but he's been playing great. I mean, he's definitely the best true power forward in the East. I mean, Greg Giannis doesn't count because I really don't know what position Giannis
Yeah,
plays.
Giannis, there's no specific position to label him.
Right, Randall is a true power forward. I think he's the best in the East right now. But to your point, Brunson, as good as of a scorer as Brunson in as hardcore, hard nosed as he is, he doesn't get anyone involved. He's not a good point guard for this kind of team, right? He helps when he scores well, but when it comes to managing the game, the tempo, getting guys involved, getting guys shots, that is not Brunson's game at all.
Dude,
And
I
some people
give you a
stop
good
pretending like it
comparison.
is.
He gets
But
Kyrie assists where
oh yeah, he does.
like I'm cooking, so there's so much attention on me that like I'll make the basic kick out,
Yeah,
but it's so basic that he'll have like 7 assists mid fourth quarter and you don't remember a single one.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
Like he gets
exactly.
Kyrie assists to me.
Yep. And you know what else? He'll give assists to guys that have to hit like a super tough shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll give assists to RJ, who's in the corner. RJ has to pump fake drive and dunk on three people, and it's like, oh, that's Brunson's assist. But like, if it wasn't RJ, no one would have scored it. So,
Yeah. I mean, I
but
like
yeah,
what the Knicks look good, man. You guys,
they do look
I
good.
mean, as far as games go, it seems like you're going to be in a solid playoff spot.
Yeah,
Probably not even going to be in the play-in if you keep on the same pace.
yeah, yeah,
I just like Randall's been shooting lights out, but it's so
yeah.
many like no, no, no. Oh, good shot. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, yeah.
Like hand and face, and he drains it, and I'm like, you hit it, good shit, but like those aren't shots we could depend on.
Especially when he's the best rebounder on the team.
Yes,
Best inside
yes.
presence on the team, and he's taking a lot of shots. That's
Takes
the thing
so
that's
many
tough.
threes, so many.
It would be nice to have another inside presence so he could have more comfort to do that. But oh yeah, we traded that guy Nerlens Noel, who was doing great. Got rid of him, but
I will say
is
if
Nerlens even in the
Robinson,
league?
yeah, he just played for somebody. He just got cooked by. He might be on Orlando. He's on a
Orlando or
lottery
Detroit? Maybe
team.
is he? Maybe he's still on
Detroit,
Detroit.
maybe could be Detroit.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw him in a highlight. Like less than a week ago. I swear.
Oh, okay.
I literally saw him and was like, "Oh, Nerlens Noel." Like I hate that I can't picture the team, but it was a bad team. Like a team I would never actually watch, go out of my way to watch.
I think the original trade was to Detroit, so maybe he's still there. I thought they
I'll
might
tell
have
you
got
what
rid of
though,
him.
if Robinson is healthy when you guys go in the playoffs,
Yeah.
nobody's sweeping y'all.
Oh, I definitely believe that. Yeah,
Like your
for
defense is
sure.
good enough to where even Boston and Milwaukee at full strength, I could
Yeah,
see you
we
guys
getting
taking a
one of
game or
those.
two.
We get one of those for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially the home games.
Because believe it or not, I know this sounds super crazy, but Randall may be one of the most like between those three teams you just said. Randall may be the second most unstoppable player in those. And if he gets stopped, it'll be because he stops himself. I'm not saying he's the best player, but as far as what he does in the games, it, he has the least amount of answers for him. Because Randall gives Horford 30 like it's nothing for some reason. And Horford
Yeah.
locks down any other power forward. But don't get me wrong. He's not going to be the high scorer in any of those games.
But like
Tatum get
Randall,
50.
if he gave Horford that 30 on all bad shots, he'll take those exact same bad shots the next game and miss all
Yeah.
of them. And Horford will look like he's like back in his prime.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what
So
happens with the Knicks most of the time. Same thing with RJ. RJ will have take a bunch of tough shots and have a huge game the
RJ could
next
get
night.
40.
Yeah.
He's so aggressive. Like he'd get hot and go crazy, and then he could literally like win the game for the other team.
Right. With a solid like
He
eight
misses,
points, two
bro. Hey,
rebounds.
like at Duke, he's getting to the left, and he's impossible to stop. He's still
Yeah.
getting to the left in the league, but he's just not that good at it.
I know.
Like he
He's
misses
going to the
shit. I'm
left.
like, dude,
He
this is
basically
supposed to be
has
a
to dunk.
go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. Our three best players going to the
But
left every
he's
time.
but he's what, year 2, 3? I mean, he's got a couple more years before I'm really disappointed that he's not consistent.
He got to be year 4 now, right? Same as Ja and Zion.
Damn, you're right. Year 4.
I don't know what happened with Cam Reddish, man. I want like
Oh
a Cam
God.
Reddish documentary one day. Because Atlanta, they
Oh,
didn't use him. He got hurt. He came back in the playoffs. He was fantastic. Anytime Nate actually put him in the game, he was great. Got rid of him for Kevin Knox. Knicks get him. Don't play him. Oh wait, like 8 guys are hurt. Let's play Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish looks like the best shooting guard in the East for like 3 games, and then we
guys
never
just
see
get
him
in
again.
Thibodeau's doghouse and they never get out.
Fournier, we just have him just sitting the bench,
Fournier,
just
bro, he
a bench
like
warmer.
yeah, like you're supposed to bench a guy and like initially play him less minutes or maybe go from a starter to a bench guy.
Yeah.
Thibodeau goes from, oh, you're playing bat. How about I bury you at the end of the bench? Like hang out with the guy 11 through 15 that 90% of the NBA fan base doesn't know.
And it's crazy. He never did this before. He would have Keith Bogans out there stinking it up for Chicago, and he'd just keep playing and keep playing and
No,
keep playing forever.
that's because he was living off of D Rose's knees for a while. That's what was going on there.
Randall, I mean, yeah, it's just I just can't believe, man, we got Fournier just as a bench warmer. Fournier is our paid water guy in the league.
I just like you guys just don't match up well with the like Boston is built to stop guys individually,
Yeah,
and that's your worst nightmare.
they can't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't
Again, to
think
your
anyone on.
Randall point, that's one game. I
Yeah, for
highly
one
doubt it's
game,
two. I highly doubt it's two.
yeah, and then
Let's say
Smart.
Brunson gives you that 45 and gives you a second one. How else are you winning 2 games?
Smart's not letting Brunson get 45.
Exactly.
Smart will literally hurt Brunson before he lets Brunson get
Exactly, bro.
45.
And I mean, we saw it with Brooklyn. Boston will cycle the entire rotation on Brunson.
For real.
So Brunson will be gassed coming out of halftime. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Boston has not had a guy get tired once guarding him.
That'll be the next time Fournier plays when we have to play a team
Right.
like Boston.
But I'm
And
excited.
like
I really
everyone's
think
dead.
like I would love to see you guys play Philly. I would love to see you guys play Cleveland. Uh like Boston and Milwaukee are like the set best teams.
Yeah.
Anybody else is kind of volatile, similar to the West to me.
Brooklyn and New York in a 7-game series would be so fun.
The NBA needs that, to be honest.
The crowd would go insane every single night. Yeah.
I need that. New York would just be a turn, I feel like.
It would I'd have to watch those videos. I don't remember who makes them. Out to them, I can't remember who they are, but it makes the crowd videos from outside Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I don't know who it is either.
Those would be so fire after those at
Yeah.
Barclays and Madison. But yeah. All right. We'll have a lot more to talk about next episode after the wild card weekend. Um, I'm not sure when the All Stars get announced, but it got to be pretty soon. I mean, it's only a month from now, so should hear about that. I'd like to hear who the reserves are uh outside the fan voting because I don't think the fans have the reserves right at all. I feel like there's a lot of reserves that like Halliburton is low on this. Halliburton would be one of the probably top reserves for the media and the coaches. He's been eating up everybody. So stuff like that. I'm excited to see that. Um, other than that, college basketball. We got college basketball to talk about soon, of course. Um, after the football, then yeah, that's really it. Super Bowl time coming soon, coming fast.
I don't want to forget something because I'm very critical of bad basketball.
So
and you've been on this for a while. I've been kind of alongside you, but I haven't gone out of my way to make the point.
so
I apologize to Charlotte because I kind of laughed at them like they're the worst team in the league. Houston, I
yeah,
didn't forget you. Silas
yeah.
needs to go now. Their entire roster is starting to look horrible.
And their roster is fantastic, and they
And their
look bad.
roster's fantastic.
Yeah,
I've seen good things from all the fucking lottery teams already. Again, Charlotte sucks, and I've seen good things. Orlando
yeah,
sucks. I've seen good things. Detroit, I've seen good things.
yeah.
Whoever's going to be the lottery team in the West. But oh my God, Houston, it's gross.
Gross.
It's gross. They have like a maximum. Normally good teams that move the ball will have like a minimum of like come
Yeah,
down 2 to 5 passes. They have like a maximum of 5 passes.
yeah.
Bro, they got to get
They
back to
do.
the fucking the high school basics of hey guys, how about we swing the ball to the other side of the court?
Yeah, it's so
It's
bad, man.
bro, there's no coaching going on. There's no leadership going on. Like I don't mind losing, but it's just gross out there.
I've never seen a team this talented, like not have any highlights, like any good things to talk about with the roster. I mean, with
Bro,
how they
they'll
play.
put up 120 and there won't be one good offensive set in their entire scoring film.
Yeah,
Holy shit. They're the worst team in the league as far as passing the basketball.
they are absolute worst. And everyone on the team can score, and everyone on the team can pass. They just don't.
They
They're one
just
and nine
don't.
in their last 10 right now. 8 in a row losses.
I mean, they're in shootouts every night.
Yep, they
They don't
are.
want to defend a soul.
Nope, nope.
They're not responding to the coach at all. He has to go.
I think they're responding. I just don't think he's giving them any winning direction.
I don't want to assume he's that trash, but maybe you're
Uh,
right. You could be right.
Because the reason why I say that is because in the timeouts and the post games, he never says anything negative.
Oh.
And I know that could be, him not trying to psych the guys out, but he's like, oh yeah, I think we lost by 30, but I think Kevin Porter showed us some really good things. Like, can you just tell us what you told them that they didn't do right to why they lost the game? Can you put some accountability on somebody? But it's just like, nah, he acts like they're not supposed to win any games. And to me,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
the
it's
worst thing
it's
a
like,
coach can do.
coach, there's really no on-court leadership. Like, what do you got, what do you have to do to establish that?
Right.
I don't know. Just trust each other. What?
Yeah, that is what he goes to all the time, to trust each other and believe in each other. Like,
Believe in what? Everyone looks worse.
I don't know, man.
Jalen Green, bro. Jalen Green looks like he played another sport in the offseason. I know I'm
Like
exaggerating,
what?
but it's like
Like what?
it's so messy.
Yeah, it does. It looks
I
it
don't know
looks
what
really bad.
sport, if that's what you ask.
Yeah, he doesn't look like another. He doesn't look like he's taking a step forward in his basketball maturity at all.
At all, bro. He looks like he got worse at dribbling the ball.
Yeah,
Him and Kevin Porter Jr. don't even like try to see the floor.
I know. Kevin
You know
Porter
what's
Jr. makes
funny
some nice
is
passes sometimes, though, but it's just so few and far between. It's like, you know,
my friend made a hilarious point about them. He was like, it's almost like everyone's playing like Eric Gordon out there.
like Eric Gordon.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
everyone's just out there like Eric Gordon trying to like
yeah.
mix somebody, trying to take a shot that's like not quite in their bag.
Or their range.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Gordon had at least shown some level of being able to score at a high level.
Yeah.
These guys are so young. They haven't proven anything.
And Gordon's scoring has never been
It's never carried winning.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like him scoring has never really mattered to the team winning.
Right.
But
His
now,
best Clipper years, they were horrible.
yeah, now like the Houston, everyone has to be able to score for them to win. Somebody has to be a good scorer for them to win. Gordon
Bro, I
could
mean,
go out there and
teams,
get 25 or get 0, and it didn't really
it
affect the
looks
game.
like teams, if you really watch their highlights, it looks like teams like don't take them seriously.
They don't.
Because it's up and down, and then all of a sudden down the
Looks like a
stretch,
scrimmage.
right, down the stretch, the actual good structured team just locks it in, focuses. They come out of that like final or second to last timeout and just destroy them.
It looks like a lot of the older teams or more mature teams just go out there and like try to keep up with them, like keep up with the young guns, the keep up with the athleticism. Like it's conditioning for the first 3 quarters. And then the last quarter is like you said, then they step up and say, all right, let's go win this game. Like we're good, everyone's still got good energy, let's kill it now. They
I
lose
mean,
every fourth
I
quarter. I don't
hope
think they've ever won a fourth quarter this year.
like Mark Jackson needs to be considered for this.
He'd be perfect for this team.
Just like, can we
Absolutely
just
perfect.
have a conversation? You don't got to hire him. I get it. You want to make your choice, but just talk to him.
Wait, you want to hear some of their stats? This is disgusting. They're 28th in points per game, 30th in field goal percentage, 27th in 3-point field goal percentage, 23rd in free throw percentage, 29th in assists, 29th in turnovers. My
How did they even get a win, bro? How are they 1-9? How are they not 0-10?
the 29th in offense, 28th in defense rating, 29th in true shooting percentage, 28th
Oh
in
my
effective field goal
god.
percentage. Yeah, first think about how bad this is. Um, Turnovers are 29th. Warriors were 30th with only 0.1 worse than them, by the way. They're 16. Warriors were 16.1. And Warriors were first in assists. They're 29th in assists. So they're only making 6 more assists than turnovers per game.
Bro, the best category you said was free throws, which they were 23rd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bruh, Silas, what are y'all doing in practice?
Shout out to Sengun because they are 4th in rebounds and 2nd in offensive rebounds. So they are good at rebounding.
I
That's
like
it.
the rookie has played. His energy has been good.
Jabari Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been really good.
But again,
Yeah,
when
man.
nobody moves the ball, guys like Jabari Smith look trash.
Yeah.
And he looks bad. He looks bad taking uncomfortable shots with the fucking shot clock running down.
Absolutely.
God, the
Yeah.
amount of times the shot clock, they're bottom of the league in scoring because they can't generate a shot. It takes the entire shot clock for them to get something.
Yep.
All you got to do on them is get back. Like if I'm a coach going into a game against them, let's play clean basketball offensively and sprint back.
Yeah.
Like if I'm an NBA team, they're not outscoring us if we get back every time. There's no way.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean that's how they beat teams. You know, everyone on the team is, a thoroughbred. Get out. They're gonna dunk on you. You're gonna get dunked on every time you play them, for sure.
Right.
Whether it's Martin,
Or you'll be in the clip of a vicious dunk. You might not be
the
quite
clip.
getting dunked on, but you'll be
Now
there.
you will be over your head. It's gonna be it's gonna
Yeah.
be you're gonna get caught in a poster no matter what. So if you stop that, that's probably a third of their points most nights.
I just like,
So
I mean, you don't even run plays for Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. Like, there's no sets that use the two of them together.
no, it's not.
Thibodeau tries, like Brunson and Randall just like don't really find each other. It's not really
Yeah.
like a specific reason or like they don't have they just find other guys better than they find each other.
Right.
But here, it's like you look at their highlights and their only plays together are in transition.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. Um,
I
I'm
didn't
with you
mind
though. If
losing,
Mark
bro. I would have
Jackson,
been okay with them losing. But they're like fast forwarding to the lottery
yeah.
again. Like, how much talent does this team need?
I mean, if you can get Wembanyama, I mean,
That'd be crazy. Get a real coach, please.
yeah, that would be really insane. But yeah, they still would need a coach either, no matter what. Whether
They
it's
very
D'Antoni
important to
trying to
get a
come back
coach.
to Houston, that's an
Oh my
option.
God.
Mark
D'Antoni would have
Jackson,
this team averaging 145,
yeah, this
and
might be the
other
most
teams would
talented,
average 148.
maybe the most talented team D'Antoni's ever had as far as
Yeah.
like full roster.
And
I mean, these guys go like 10 deep.
I'm curious who he really establishes as their best player.
If he did that, if D'Antoni came,
Yeah, because like the ideal scenario would be Porter Jr.,
yeah,
but Green has like some potential to be such an explosive scorer
he does.
that I do think you could play through him similar to like a Lou Will, Eric Gordon, Clarkson, any of these kind of like volume shooters who could get really hot.
Yeah.
He's obviously got a better size and more athletic than those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah. He's more
I'm
explosive
disgusted
going
by
to
what
the
I see.
basket too. I mean, he's someone that he could score 12 points getting layups if the team got him. If the team could figure it out. Because once he gets in the air, there's nothing you can do. Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing you can do to stop him. He can't get into the paint in their offense right now. So yeah, I think it would be interesting if they went like a Jokic kind of offense with Şengün, to be honest. And they said, "Look,
Yeah.
Şengün, I want a triple double every night." I think the whole team would be better if Şengün went out there looking for 10 assists every night.
They try occasionally from the little bit
Yeah,
I've seen. They do like they'll play through a big at the free throw line to kind of force guys to play real basketball.
yeah,
But it's none of those guys like commit to it.
exactly, exactly. All right, we'll be back next week. Talk about wild card weekend
Yeah, I'm
and
excited.
more hoops, of course. Thank you for listening as always. Please subscribe, follow us, all the good stuff, and we will see you next time.